We're going to see a new Assassin's Creed Red trailer next month, probably. And with the thought of that looming over our heads, I thought now would be a great time to ask you guys your burning questions for AC Red. How will it play? Where will the story go? Will we finally get Unity-style parkour? Will we actually get to play as an assassin, or will it be more fantasy-focused? You guys sent in a ton of questions about Assassin's Creed Red. Today, I'll be reading these questions and giving my thoughts. I couldn't go over every question in this video as I ended up getting around 60 of them, but I picked what I thought would spark the most conversation for this video. If you have more ideas, feel free to comment them below, and if you're new to this channel and want to stay up to date with everything Assassin's Creed, consider subscribing. Good parkour? That's probably the most debated question in pretty much every upcoming Assassin's Creed game. What's the parkour gonna look like? With Mirage, we thought it was going to be like Unity's, and for many of us, we were sorely mistaken. What we got was a slightly more refined version of the RPG parkour mechanic. So with Assassin's Creed Red, what's the parkour gonna be like? Is it gonna be any good? And, well, these are my thoughts. Now, we do know that Assassin's Creed Red is going to be the first game that's developed in the Anvil pipeline engine. A brand new engine created by Ubisoft for the Infinity Live service. Any game that comes out on Infinity is going to be made with this new engine. And what comes with a new engine? Well, new gameplay mechanics, new animations, and that sort of thing. So yeah, I think the parkour's going to look a lot different, feel different, and it's going to be new. I don't think it's going back to Unity parkour. I think what we got with Unity when it comes to parkour is one and done. It kind of works, but to Ubisoft it failed, and that's that, we move. I feel like with AC Codename Red, they may take aspects of Unity's parkour, and they may take aspects of the older games, and who knows, even aspects from the RPG climbing systems, and we're going to get something new, something brand new that, again, looks and feels different, and hopefully is the best parkour system we've had in an Assassin's Creed game. In my opinion, that would be a mechanic that focuses on control, basically giving the player agency to be able to move in any direction they need, to back eject, to side eject, turning it more into the sort of platformer that the parkour system used to be, but I also think it should incorporate some aspects of AC Unity, such as a kind of free flow to the parkour when just traversing the world in general. I think a good balance between the Ezio game's parkour and AC Unity's parkour would be perfect for AC Codename Red, and then obviously you want to bring in your own new additions to that to make it something overhauled, refined, and new. I don't think that we're ever going to get the level of control we got in the older AC games, but yeah, I do think it's going to feel at least a little bit more like AC Unity's parkour. But again, I think it will be something completely new and specific to AC Codename Red that may be worked on and improved with games coming after Codename Red. What's your worst case scenario for the game? Now, the answer to this question definitely varies from person to person because it's based on your opinion and the way you see the AC series. My personal favorite Assassin's Creed games were AC1 through Black Flag and then kind of Unity, but specifically my favorites were the Ezio games. AC1 to Revelations just really encapsulated that Assassin's Creed story, and that's what drew me into the series to begin with. This secret, alluring underground war between one side versus the other, where you think the assassins are the good guys, but the more you play and the more you unravel, you think, are they good or are they just kind of morally grey? And you know, it sparks this whole debate. And even as a young kid, I just love that. That's Assassin's Creed to me. A beautiful story throughout history that parallels one another. It's just, I love that. So again, going back to the question of what is my worst case scenario for AC Red, well, my worst case scenario would be if they don't focus on anything that I loved about the series to begin with. If they don't focus on the assassins versus the Templars and the nuance of what that war really means. If they don't focus on the sci-fi mystery of the Isu, and I'm sure they will do it, but I don't even want it thrown in my face when it comes to the Isu. It was so great when it was mysterious and it made you think, it made you question, you didn't quite know what it was. And then when we found everything out, I feel like that's when the Isu storyline should have ended, but it kept going and it got convoluted, and I feel like we need a hard reset when it comes to Isu. Maybe we move away from the Isu now and we focus more on something mysterious that happened within that period, so that we don't know what happened but we unravel more as we go through the game. Something that was touched upon in Assassin's Creed Origins that didn't really go anywhere was the simulation theory. And this isn't anything to do with the Animus, by the way. The idea that the whole of reality in Assassin's Creed is all a simulation, maybe created by the Isu, maybe created by something that predates the Isu, who knows? That could be something that would be really interesting to tackle, and would add that philosophical debate on what is real, what is true, what is reality, that lends in perfectly with the Assassins versus Templars conflict. Again, what's my worst case scenario? It would be something that doesn't do any of that and just kind of has Assassin Ninja because Assassin Ninja cool and looks cool, and Japan because Japan cool, and that's that. 5-year-olds take the game. Yeah, you know, that's my worst case scenario. Moving on, would there be a new type of hidden blade or an already known one? And the commenter gives examples here like the hidden gun or the hook blade and Xiao Yun's foot blade. So I do think we'll get a new type of hidden blade in one way or another. There is speculation that we will have some kind of grapple hook in AC Codename Red, probably something similar to Sekiro. And where would this grapple hook come from? Well, in Syndicate it came from the hidden blade, or at least a mechanism that was kind of attached to the hidden blade. So yeah, I think we'll get some sort of grapple hook hidden blade that we haven't quite seen before. Maybe you can grapple enemies, you can sneak up behind them or approach them from ledges and throw out the grapple to pull them towards you and then assassinate them. I think we could get new gameplay mechanics such as this. So then this hidden blade would incorporate combat, stealth, assassin tools, and world traversal. Rumours have said that Ubisoft are going all in and investing a lot of resources for this one. This includes the overhauled engine with presumably new animations and such. My question is, with AC Red being the pioneer of this new system, will the game suffer technically because of it? With Ubisoft reportedly having to change to an overhauled system, is something bound to break gameplay-wise, as is unfortunately the case in modern game development? Well, to try and answer that question, maybe we should go back to AC Unity. A lot of people say it plays fine now, and it kind of does, but there is still a lot of jank. And all the way back in 2014, it was very bug-ridden, it was barely playable for a lot of people. AC Unity was the first next-gen game for PS4 and Xbox One on a completely overhauled and refined Anvil engine. They were tackling things they'd never tackled before when it comes to the parkour system, the visuals, the crowd density, etc. It was all new, it was a lot. And obviously, Ubisoft bit off more than they could chew. Could that mistake happen again with AC Codename Red? Could they be focusing too much on a bombastic entrance with the AC Infinity new live service and a completely new game? Yeah, they could, and yeah, they could definitely see the same mistake that they had before. Will they though? Maybe they're smarter than that. Maybe they've made the mistake with Unity and they're not going to let themselves go down that avenue again. Really, only time will tell. Hoping for a well-written female protagonist. So am I. I'm really excited to hear about Naoe, to learn more about her story and how she becomes an assassin. Personally, as a guy, I actually find it really interesting playing games or watching movies or even listening to music through the lens of a woman. It's another perspective that I don't have. So I actually find it quite educating, I find it quite interesting. So yeah, hopefully Naoe is well written and they pull it off well. Do not mess up the first Black Samurai legacy. Agreed. The idea of Yasuke to me is brilliant. Of course, as long as it's pulled off well, he's well written, and narratively there's a good balance between character dynamic with Naoe and Yasuke. I feel like Ubisoft could use Yasuke to sort of tackle what it would be like to be a black man in Japan at the time. Realistically, there probably wasn't a lot of diversity in Japan at the time, so I'd love to see a difference when it comes to gameplay between Yasuke and Naoe. As Naoe, you fit in, at least visually, and maybe that would lean to a different dynamic with Yasuke, where you stand out like a sore thumb because probably some people in the area at that time may have never seen an African person. Again, I feel like that could lead into quite interesting narrative beats, as well as dynamic events within the world. But yeah, overall, I think there's a lot of opportunity to have a really well-written, interesting character and a different approach at the AC Brotherhood. And I hope Yasuke and Naoe can come together to have this perfect balance between a traditional Japanese story and a different take on a Japanese story, and it will blend together perfectly. And yeah, that'd just be interesting to see. I can't wait for the game. If somehow they add some fantasy stuff, I at least want to fight a dragon. Now, they will most definitely add certain fantasy aspects to the game. When it comes to Odyssey, Valhalla, and even Origins, these were very well received aspects of the game. Whether the OG AC fans like it or not, people love fantasy in newer Assassin's Creed games. Kinda hurts to say, but it's true, so I won't deny it. And the more fantasy you have within a game, the more agency Ubisoft have to create loads of different variations of fantasy armor to sell you in the microtransaction store. So yeah, I do think there will be a lot of fantasy within the game, kind of on a similar level to how AC Odyssey's fantasy elements were. I could be wrong, there could be more, there could be less, but that's my take on it. Well, there you have it, Assassins. Your burning questions for Assassin's Creed Codename Red, answered by me to the best of my ability. If you did enjoy this game and want to stay up to date with everything Assassin's Creed, consider pressing the subscribe button. My Instagram and Twitter are linked in the description. You can follow those if you choose to do so. I love you guys, mate. The father of understanding guide us. I will see you soon. Goodbye.